Hi, and welcome to Chapter 2. We're going to look at what causes autoimmunity. So you see in the graphic here a variety of autoimmune conditions. You start on the top: multiple sclerosis, lupus, celiac disease, eczema and psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis. This graphic is actually incorrect. Asthma is not an autoimmune condition. And then Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So one thing to consider here is you have the immune system attacking these different organs, and we tend to think of all of these conditions as separate diseases, but they're actually one disease, and or one condition, better said, not a disease, a condition. And the condition is the imbalance and dysfunction of the immune system, whereby the immune system is losing track of what is self, what is part of us, what is part of our body, and what is foreign. And in this dysfunction, it is mistakenly attacking our own tissues. So in a functional medicine approach to autoimmune conditions, we're actually looking at the immune system and correcting the imbalances in the immune system that lead to this self-attack, rather than focusing entirely on the target organ. Now, in functional medicine, for instance, with rheumatoid arthritis, there are natural anti-inflammatories that would help someone with rheumatoid arthritis, and the anti-inflammatories are, in a sense, blocking or cushioning the action of the immune system that initiates inflammation. In celiac disease, we would avoid wheat or gluten so as to not provoke the activity of the immune system. So we're not looking solely at the immune system, but we're making the immune system a primary focus, and that once we get the immune system back in balance, it will stop attacking the body. Autoimmunity is thought to develop in response to a combination of genetics and environment. And of these two, the environment is a much bigger factor than genetics. Genetics can create a predisposition to autoimmune conditions, meaning a vulnerability to getting an autoimmune condition. But the environment is the trigger that initiates the process that results in autoimmune attack. So here we see genetics plus environment leads to immune system dysfunction, which then results in an autoimmune condition. Let's look at the things in the environment that initiate a autoimmune condition that cause immune dysfunction and resulting autoimmunity. First is foods. So foods are identified by the immune system as foreign, and the immune system can react to foods. It reacts in different ways depending on what part of the immune system is reacting. If the reaction is mediated by what is called an IgE antibody or a histamine response, that creates a food allergy. If another part of the immune system reacts to food, that can create what is now being referred to as food sensitivities. And so food allergies are a immediate, very fast response to foods by the immune system, with reactions occurring from hours to maybe 12 hours at the max. And food sensitivities can develop anywhere from a day to 2 to 3 days. So a very different time scale of response of the immune system to different foods depending on what part of the immune system is reacting. Then we have toxins. There are numerous toxins that have been shown to disrupt immune function. These can be anything from pesticides like glyphosate, which is on our food, to the mercury in the fillings in our mouth. A whole slew of different toxins that we're being exposed to through the food we eat, the air we breathe, what we drink, even what is on our skin, even in our shower water. And so these toxins are reactive to the immune system, and they create immune dysfunction. Finally, we have microbials, and by microbials I mean bacteria, viruses, parasites, things that are microbes. And so when we have an infection, a stealth infection or a chronic infection that is going on in our tissues, then the immune system is trying to attack those microbials, those invaders, and there can be a mix-up wherein the immune system starts attacking the tissue where the infection is occurring. And it's sort of like a war situation where an army gets, or soldiers get killed by friendly fire by their own side. It's just a confusion that occurs by the immune system. So when we speak of the environmental insults that are causing immune dysfunction, which in turn causes the immune system to attack our body, and we're looking at food, toxins, and microbials, then you can ask, okay, what do we do in functional medicine to deal with these different aspects of the environment that can cause this dysfunction or imbalance in our immune system? Well, with foods, we can do testing to identify which foods the immune system is reacting to, or without testing, we know that there are certain foods that tend to be reactive, so things like gluten or wheat, rye, things like dairy products, and then there's a whole group of what are called lectins, which are found in beans. There are a variety of different foods that we know tend to be reactive, but the trouble is that when we're trying to avoid all of these in order to quiet down the immune system's reactivity, we end up with a diet that sometimes people can't sustain. So then we turn to food sensitivity testing, where we can actually see which foods the immune system is reacting to and just eliminate those. With toxins that have accumulated in our body and that are disrupting immune function, we can do detox. And there are varieties of different ways to detoxify. Sometimes it depends on the type of toxins, and it also depends on what part of the body we're trying to detoxify. With the issue of microbials in terms of stealth infections or chronic infections, we try to bolster or improve immune system function through a variety of different nutraceuticals and nutrients that increase the effectiveness of the immune system so that the immune system can then eliminate these infections. And with their elimination, then the immune system stops attacking these tissues. In the real world, among people who have autoimmune conditions, it is often all three of the above, all three of these, food sensitivities, toxins, and also microbials, whether bacteria, virus, or parasites, that overwhelms the immune system with this load of invaders or foreign substances that the immune system is trying to deal with, and then leads to immune system dysfunction, which in turn leads to autoimmunity. What we see then is that we have all of these different autoimmune conditions that affect different tissues in the body, where the immune system is attacking a variety of different tissues, and we think of them as separate conditions, separate diseases, but really it's all about dysfunction of the immune system, and that dysfunction of the immune system is due to environmental influences more than genetic, that genetics may predispose to autoimmune dysfunctions, but it's the environment in the form of food and toxins and microbials that serve as the trigger for immune system dysfunction that then causes self-attack or autoimmunity. In the next chapter lesson, we will look a little bit more closely at how this occurs in the body and also begin to look at the remedies that functional medicine uses to turn autoimmunity around.